Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faye, and for today's video, I have a tutorial for you guys. I'm going to be reviewing the new Pat McGrath, well, new to me at least. It came out, I think, a couple of weeks or maybe a month or so ago now, but this is her newest palette, the Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette. This is what it looks like on the inside, and if you watched my Sephora VIB sale haul, you guys know that this was the palette that I picked up during the sale. It's my first Pat McGrath purchase ever, so I'm very excited to share with you guys how I created this look. I love how it came together. This is not what I had in mind when I initially sat down to film, but I am obsessed with the way that this looks. I'm obsessed with this eyeshadow palette, and I can't wait for you guys to see how the shadows performed and what all I used on the eyes to create this look. So before I jump into the tutorial, I also want to mention that today's video is in collaboration with my girl KTURA. She is also a beauty creator here on YouTube, and she will be creating a look also featuring this palette right here. So you guys are getting a 2-for-1 special with today's video. So definitely be sure to check out her video after you're finished watching this one. I will have a link to both her video and her channel down below. And if you are visiting my channel from her channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you enjoy watching me recreate this little look right here. And yeah, I think that's all that I have for you guys for the intro. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so I'm starting off with my eyes already primed. As you can see, I just used my Too Faced Sculpted Concealer to even out my eyelids, and then I just set it lightly with a translucent setting powder just to give us a nice even base on the eyes to work with. So as you guys saw in the intro, today we're going to be working with the Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like on the inside. The shadows are absolutely gorgeous, and I have very, very high hopes for this eyeshadow palette. If you watched my recent Sephora VIB sale haul, you guys know I kind of went on and on and on about this palette for a few minutes because this is the first product that I have ever purchased from Pat McGrath. And yeah, I just have very high hopes. I've heard very good things, and for the price, I'm just saying, my expectations are up here. So to help me decide what I want to do on my eyes, like I said, I kind of have an idea. Well, I'm kind of going back and forth between two eyeshadow looks that I think I want to do. But I'm just going to swatch the shades so that you can see what they all look like, and hopefully that'll also help me to decide what look I want to do. Okay, so first up we have row 1, and I'm just going to swatch them on the back of my hand. So we have this one. Ooh! That is one swipe. That one is a shimmer. If all of them look like this, I'm gonna be very impressed. We have another shimmer, nice bronzy shade. We have a matte, beautiful, another shimmer. And then to finish out the first row, we have 2 more shimmers. So that is what the first row of shadows looks like. Okay, so next up we have row number 2. So we're starting with a matte this time. Then we have a shimmer, which this shade kind of caught me by surprise when I swatched it. It's very pretty. It's like a purplish pink, but depending on how the light hits it, it also kind of reflects like a deep kind of money green shade. Very pretty. And then we have another shimmer. Another shimmer. That one is gorgeous, a nice forest green type shade. Okay, and then to finish out the second row, we have 2 more shimmers. So, ooh, that last one, very pretty. So that is the second row. Okay, and then we have the last and final third row. So we have a shimmer, gorgeous, another one of those like duochrome shades, another shimmer, another shimmer, another duochrome. Ooh, that one is gorgeous. Then we have a matte, very pretty. And then to finish it off, we have 2 more shimmers. You guys, honestly, swatching these did not help at all, because now I'm even more confused than I was in the beginning. Look at that shade. It's like a red and like a bronzy copper at the same time. So pretty. Okay, so I went ahead and zoomed you guys in. I think I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do. I'm definitely going to have to film multiple looks with this palette because I have several ideas of looks that I would love to film with this eyeshadow palette. So, yeah. I think I know what I want to do though. So, hopefully it comes out the way that I envisioned it in my mind. Okay, so the first shade that I'm gonna pick up is this shade right here. And I'm not gonna name them because the shades, they are on the back, but that always kind of confuses me. So I'm just gonna point to them to make sure I'm telling you the right shade. So I'm gonna go in first with this matte kind of mauve-y pink shade. And I'm gonna pick that up on a blending brush. I'm using my Sedona Lace EB13, and I'm gonna buff that back and forth into the crease. And once there's pretty much no additional like product on the brush, I'm just gonna bring it up to the brow bone and just make sure we get a nice smooth blend. And if you have hooded eyelids like I do, just kind of lift up your brow a little bit and it'll kind of lift that area in your crease so that you can get in there and get a nice smooth blend. Okay, so that actually looks really pretty, a little different than what I expected it to look like because it looks like a pretty pink shade in the palette, but it didn't really come off like that on my eye. So next up, I'm going in with this shade right here. And this is another matte shade, like a kind of deep brown mahogany shade. And I'm gonna pick that up on a Morphe M433, and I'm gonna place that right in my outer V and start to blend it into the crease. And I'm not gonna bring this all the way over into the crease. As you saw, I just kind of tapped it on that outer V. And then I kind of wiped off my brush a little bit. And then whatever is left over, I'm gonna start blending and kind of winging it out this way as well. These shadows are honestly blending so effortlessly. I'm using like little to no effort, and a little bit of shadow goes a long way. I've heard a lot of people talk about how like pigmented her shadows are, so I'm being really careful to not pick up a ton of product at once. And I literally dipped in the palette one time on each eye, and this is the pigment. So definitely worth the coin so far. Okay, so next up I'm gonna go in with my lid shade, and normally I would cut my crease, but I want to kind of just test out like if I can not cut my crease and just go in with the shadow. So for my lid shade, I'm gonna be going in with this shade right here. This gorgeous like duochrome eyeshadow. And I'm gonna pick that up on a flat shader brush, and we're just gonna apply that across the first half of the lid. Okay, so this color is really pretty by itself, but I want it to show up just a little bit more intense and pigmented. So I'm gonna wet my brush with my MAC Fix Plus and then go in to apply the shadow again. Yes, that is what I was going for. You guys see the difference? How much more intense the shadow is now. Such a beautiful color. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like so far. I'm liking where this is headed. So next up, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, if you guys can see. And these shades reflect so much differently on camera than how they look like in the pan in front of me. But this is another duochrome shade, and I'm just gonna overlap this with the lid shade that we just applied and the matte shade that we have in the outer V. Okay, and then last but not least for the eyes, I'm just gonna go back in with that matte brown mahogany shade and just blend the two outer V shades together. Okay, so this is how the eyes are looking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply my liner and lashes off camera, and then I will be back to go ahead and finish up the face. Okay, so I went ahead and zoomed you guys out just a little bit so that we can start on the face. And I also decided to wait on putting my lashes on until after I do my brows, so I'll come back to that. So the first thing that I'm going to do is prep my skin. I'm using my Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. And then for primer today, I'm actually going to try something new. This is from the brand Tula, and this is their Face Filter Blurring and Moisturizing Primer. I actually got this in either an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm recently. I think it was my Ipsy bag, but I'm gonna try this out. I recently had the opportunity to partner with Tula over on my Instagram, so if you guys follow me over there, you probably saw the skincare content that I posted. So it was so funny that like right after that I got this product in my Ipsy bag because I have been loving their skincare and wanting to try more stuff from them. So okay, so next I'm going to fill in my pores. I'm using my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm just going to apply that mainly just in my T-zone area. And then after that, for my final primer, I'm actually going to switch it up. Normally I would go in with my Milk Hydro Grip, you guys already know. But today I'm going to go in with a drugstore alternative. This is the Hard Candy Hydrating Primer 12-Hour Makeup Grip. And I actually used this when I filmed last night. And I was surprised at how similar, even in color and like texture, it is to the Hydro Grip. So I'm kind of trying to test it out because, you know, it might be a possible dupe that I could share with you guys. So I'm trying to just use it a couple of times and get an idea of what my thoughts are for it. But so far, just as a primer, I'm definitely enjoying it. Okay, so now that we have all of our primers applied, I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay All Nighter Pressed Setting Powder. This is a waterproof setting powder. And I'm just going to lightly tap over everything. And this is just an extra step I recommend to my oily skin girls. It'll just help to lock everything in and keep it in place, you know, and keep your oils at bay a little bit longer. So for foundation today, I'm going in with my NARS Soft Matte, what is this called? Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I have mine in the shade Mirame. I did film a full review on this foundation, so if you're interested in that, I will link it for you. I have really been enjoying this foundation. Even if you don't have oily skin, it's a really nice formula that isn't over drying. So I would recommend it honestly to any skin type. If you don't have oily skin, I would recommend it to you if you just want something to last a couple extra hours than what you're used to. But if you have oily skin, I would definitely recommend it to you if you're looking for something that is going to be more long wearing and is also going to help keep you somewhat less oily throughout the day. So I'm going to use this one today. So next up is concealer, and today I'm using this one from Cover FX. This is the Power Play Concealer in the shade Medium 2. So of course, I'm just going to apply this in all of my usual areas and then blend it out with my DSMD makeup sponge. So next I'm going to go ahead and set all of that in place, and today I'm going to use my Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Setting Powder. If you are like medium tan to kind of deep complexion, and if the dark translucent setting powder does not work for you, I highly recommend this one. I have been loving it. It looks gorgeous on the skin, and it's literally the same formula as the original translucent, but better for, you know, the people in the middle, the medium, tan, dark complexions. It has a beautiful kind of more yellow undertone to it, which is perfect for my complexion. Okay, so I'm going to kind of let that hang out on the face for a few minutes. I'm gonna fill in my brows and apply my lashes for real this time, and then I will be back. Okay, you guys, so I'm in the middle of putting on my lash. As you can see, I have one lash on. I'm using my Eyelure times Jordan Woods. You guys know these are my fave. And I'm testing out this new Kiss lash glue liner. I wasn't gonna show it in the video because I wanted to, of course, test it out first and then show you guys once I've used it a few times. But I am shook, okay? So I'm gonna just go ahead and show it to you guys. So it is a felt tip, like, you know, kind of pin situation type liner. And you literally just draw it on your lash line. You don't even have to wait for it to get tacky. And my lash, like, it's on. It's not going anywhere. So I'm just gonna show y'all real quick because when I just put this lash on, I was shook. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw it on, and since it's just this brush, I can get right up against my lash line to make sure that when I put my lashes on, they are as close to the lash line as possible. And I also like that it's black because it's also helping to kind of fill in those areas really close to my lash line where you can kind of still see my skin. So I'm just kind of going over it twice. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my lash. I'm not waiting any time. I mean, except for the time that it takes me to put my lash on the tweezer. And I'm literally, let me use this so that you guys can see. I'm literally just going to, hold on. Okay, so I'm literally just going to stick this down like it's already sticking. Like to the point that once you lay the lash down, you almost can't move it without pretty much just taking it off. And I know you guys can't really see. I have to get like really close to the camera. I mean to the mirror when I'm applying my lashes, which is why I never film this part. But I mean, girl, these lashes are on, okay? They're not going anywhere. I don't have any unnecessary lash glue all up on my eyelid. And that literally took me no effort. You guys, I'm legit shook right now by that lash glue. If you are somebody that has a hard time putting on lashes, I would highly recommend this because that was probably the easiest I have applied lashes in a very long time. I'm honestly still shook by that. And this was super inexpensive. I think I found this at either Walmart or Target, and you guys know Kiss is very affordable, so it was not expensive at all. And this right here, they did something with this. Okay, so next I'm gonna go ahead and dust off the extra powder, and for that I'm actually gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I picked this up during the Sephora VIB sale. So I have mine in the shade Tan. It looks like this. So I'm just gonna pick it up on a little fluffy brush, and I'm actually just going to kind of press it over my powder. And then to set the rest of my face, you guys already know I'm going in with my CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition Setting Powder. This is literally the only powder that I use to set my face. It matches me so well, and it just does a good job of keeping me matte throughout the day. So next is bronzer, and we're using another new product. I'm going in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I was so excited to finally get my hands on this, so hopefully it ends up, you know, meeting my expectations. So I have mine in the shade number 3 tan, which looks like this. It actually looks a lot lighter on camera than it does in person, but I'm sure once I start applying it to the skin, you guys will be able to see. And there's literally, like when I'm tapping my brush in here, there's like no kickback. So we're just gonna put this on all of the areas where I would normally bronze. And I'll just go ahead and mention, if you guys can hear my dog or what sounds like a dog in the background, it is my dog. Every time he sees something in the window, he just like goes crazy. So I figure it's gonna be impossible for me to like try to stop filming every single time he barks. So I'll just go ahead and mention it to you guys. If you hear it in the background, that's what it is, because I can hear him whining in the other room. So my guess is he probably sees something outside. So just in case that comes through on my audio, that's what it is. Okay, so that was actually a very good color. I'm glad that I went with tan. I really like how that looks on the skin. So now I'm gonna go ahead and let's actually finish up the lower lash line. I almost forgot about that. So I think I wanna do like a blue liner in my lower lash line. So let me see if I have one. Okay, so I found this really pretty blue eyeliner from Pixi. This is the Endless Silky Eye Pen in the shade Black Blue. And I think that will really like pop nicely against these pink shades that we have on the lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that in my lower lash line. Okay, and then right under that, I'm going back into the Pat McGrath palette, and we're gonna pick up this mahogany shade again, the shade that we used in the outer V. And I'm just going to buff that on the outer edge of my lower lash line. And then to blend that out, I'm gonna go in with that light pink shade, the first one that we used in the crease. And I'm just gonna buff that right underneath. Ooh, so pretty. Also, the little ribbons, just as a side note, if anybody cares, that were holding the top to the bottom of the palette, I just pulled them out. Like I literally just pulled them out because they were just in the way. So now I can just open the palette all the way. It's not like the ribbons were holding it like this, and I just can't. So I just pulled them out, and yeah, if anybody cares, you can very easily just pull them out. So I'm going back into the palette now. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, and I'm gonna use that to highlight my inner corner. And I think I'm also just gonna take the slightest bit of that same shade and run it in my crease a little bit, like right above that pink shade. Hopefully that won't mess up the vibe I have going on, but I kind of feel like, do I want to do that? Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Just forget I ever said that, because I like how it looks and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm just going to leave the eyes as is, and I'm just going to apply some mascara to the lower lash line, and then we can finish up the face. Okay, so we are almost done. The face is sitting, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some blush now. And I'm going to be using these little Cover FX duos that I have here. And I think I'm going to go with a pink moment, because that is what the eyes are giving me right now. So I'm going to go in with the shade Mojave Mauve, which looks like this. And I'm going to use a very light hand because, of course, I don't want it to be too much. And I think I'm just going to mix both sides, the shimmer and the matte, and just apply that to the cheeks very lightly. And you can see it's kind of giving a little bit of color, but not too much, which is fine. So before I apply my highlighter, I'm going to set my face. I'm using, you guys already know, Urban Decay All Nighter. It is literally my go-to when it comes to setting sprays. And for highlight today, I actually am going to take it back to an oldie. This is the Dose of Colors Desi x Katy collection. I'm pretty sure that these are no longer available, but I saw them in my collection and I was like, you know what? I used to absolutely love these highlighters and I haven't used them in forever. So I'm going to use them today. So if you have them, you can use them. If you don't, I'm using basically a more kind of pink undertoned champagne type highlighter. So if you have something similar, you can use that. And we're just going to pop that right on the cheekbones. All right, and now the only thing that we have left is the lips. So I kind of wanted to use this Artist Couture lip gloss that I got during the sale, but I feel like the lips need a little bit more pink to them. So maybe if I go in with a more pink lipstick shade, I can kind of give it balance. One second, let me see what I can find. Okay, so I forgot that I actually had already pulled out a lipstick to use. So I'm gonna start by lining my lips. I'm using the Shayla x ColourPop BFF3. And then after that, I'm going in with the Uma Beauty lipstick in the shade Angela. And then we'll see how that looks. And then I'll decide if I wanna top it off with the Artist Couture gloss. Okay, this lip is giving it to me, but I think, I'm just honestly really anxious to use this gloss, so I'm gonna use it. And I'm just gonna do a little bit on the bottom lip. Oh, yes. And just rub them together. Give us just a little bit of a glossy moment. And this is the finished face, you guys. What do you think? I'm gonna go ahead and change out of this robe and comb my hair down, and then I'll be back to give y'all the final look. All right, guys, so this is the final look, and honestly, it's a moment. It's a moment happening right now. I love the way that this came out. It has been a minute since I have played in color. You guys know I love my neutral, warm tones, but this palette really just inspired me to want to do something a little bit different today. And I'm glad that I went for this because I think that this came out so pretty. I love how the pink and the gold and like this bronzy red shade, it all just came together so pretty. The blue eyeliner on the bottom, it just looks bomb. So let me know down below if you have this palette, if you're planning on picking it up, what you think about this look, how you think it came together. I literally had no idea what look I was gonna do when I sat down to film today. And it definitely was not this. I had like 2 looks in mind and it was not this at all. But I'm glad that I went ahead and created this for you because I really love how it looks, and I'm definitely about to go and kind of take some pictures. And yes, like I'm feeling myself right now in this makeup. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed filming it for you guys. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. It helps to get my video out to other viewers and just other people that may be interested in a review on this particular palette. Also, don't forget to check out KTURA K's video. I will have a link to her video and her channel down below. Shout out to her for collaborating with me on today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoy both of our videos. And if you're coming from her channel, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And that is all that I have for you guys. So thank you so much again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.